The Great Wall was erected more than 2,000 years ago to protect China from invasion. But its builders never envisioned the arrival of America's First Lady, Michelle Obama. Joined by her daughters and her mother, Mrs. Obama is taking part in a cultural exchange, but it's also a goodwill tour. Considering the recent tension over China's activities in the China Sea, as well as its human rights record, there is need for more goodwill between China and the United States. Pamela Newkirk is an author as well as a journalism professor at New York University. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's good to see you again, of course. Now, this is billed as a cultural exchange, but perhaps there's more at stake here with this, with all the things I've mentioned about going on with China, the East China Sea, and Japan and North Korea, human rights violations, so on and so forth. How does Michelle Obama play into this? What kind of role is she
Well,
taking?
she's an amazing ambassador, of course, for cultural exchange, for education, which she said has been the focus of her trip. But of course, coming a week before this nuclear summit, it's, I'm sure, an attempt to kind of soften relations between China and the U.S., which has been rocky from time to time. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was interesting the way President Jinping surprised everyone by warmly greeting her and remarking on, you know, the conversations he's had with her husband and how well their relationship is evolving. So I thought that was interesting.
So you would suggest perhaps a lot more is riding on this trip than just Michelle Obama and the kids going over to the mother and playing ping pong, that perhaps something more substantive can come out of this visit.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, she's an ambassador. In a sense, and you know, she's spending the week with the First Lady. She's already met with the President, and while none of these are formal meetings, it is getting a lot of attention and can only help, except for the one little wave she caused by speaking out about freedom of speech in a place that is utterly intolerant of dissent.
Needless to say, and I think that's an understatement. Now, describe her role, though, as First Lady. Do you see it any different than other First Ladies in the past? Is she more of like a statesperson when she travels around, or is it any different than any of the others?
I think she pretty much has gotten it just right. She's not like a Hillary Clinton. You don't hear her speaking out about policy. You know, she's not trying to, you know, revitalize the healthcare system, but what she has done is she's given voice to issues that are really important for a lot of Americans, particularly education. Even on this trip, she's not speaking to reporters, but she is taking questions from U.S. classrooms. She's playing it really, really smart.
I think it's safe to say that the Chinese have preconceived notions about Americans. I'm sure vice versa, too. But I'm sure they also have preconceived notions about Black Americans.
Oh, absolutely. And I think this trip in particular will encourage many more African-American students to go to China. I mean, China is an important player on the world stage, and it's the 5th most popular destination now for U.S. students, which has changed significantly.
Well, in fact, your daughter is over there now.
My daughter is over there. She was an exchange student during her college years, and she graduated a year ago, and she had this opportunity to go on a fellowship. So she is spending a year there, and it's vitally important that African Americans participate in this exchange.
How is she being received?
Well, she has been stared at. She has, in fact, she spent, even before moving to Shanghai, she lived in Beijing and in some of the rural areas outside of Beijing for about 6 weeks 2 years ago. And there she really experienced a lot of, you know, stares and just people were polite, but obviously they were not accustomed to seeing African Americans.
Well, maybe Michelle Obama can change it as well as your daughter at the same time.
Absolutely.
We have run out of time. Pamela, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. And that's it for this week's Arise Review. I'm Julian Phillips. Have a great, great week.